This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Wednesday, the 21st of August. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what we're doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right, okay, we saw a little bit of a retracement yesterday. It's not a lot. Could be setting up a double top to deliver a little more. Have any of the sell signals reached target? Well, certainly not on ES and not on NQ. We did reach the target on RTY, which really has been the weakest off the low. YM hasn't reached target. I don't think we reached it on DAX and STX either. Got pretty close to the possible near-miss targets, but no hit. Pretty close to a retest of the highs pretty much across the board, I think. Not on RTY, where we're still a long way short, but YM, ES, and NQ are all pretty close, with NQ being probably furthest away. I'm leaning towards seeing a bit more retracement here, and I've got a good example of what I'm looking for here. Actually, let's see where that was. Hang on. I'm forgetting where it was. I think it was on one of the currencies. No, I'm mistaken. We'll come across it. But ideally, if we were coming back into a retest of this high, and if we were going to turn there, normally I would expect to see some kind of a pattern. And at the moment, we haven't seen any retracements really, so we haven't got one. Now, if we are going to see some sort of a pattern form, we need a retracement, not just a tiny little one like the one we saw yesterday. We need a bit more. Otherwise, when we get up to here, it's not going to look like we've got a pattern at all. And generally speaking, that just means you're not done. If you are going to turn, generally speaking, you will see some kind of a pattern. There will be some sort of completion. There will be something to break down from. And at the moment, we've got none of that. So either we develop that, or chances are when we get up to this high, we're going to go straight through it. And may not be anywhere close to a finish for this move. We will see. But I'm hoping I'll likely come across that chart when I'm looking through things today, and I'll show you the sort of thing I'm looking for. NQ. Looks like it's converting the monthly pivot at the moment. Ideally looking for a bit more retracement, but we may not get it. Obviously, that is potentially support. Didn't get close to that on ES. Sorry, RTY. I've got a potential wedge here, and it's not bad. This might be signaling that we are going to see a bigger retracement. But of course, RTY, we've got some kind of pattern because we've had some kind of retracement before. So this has been the weakest off the low by far, but it's not really enough alone. YM, ideally, I'd love to see a test of this rising support trend line. I've got that in about 40,575 area, I think. It'd be nice to see even a test of the monthly pivot. But at the moment, again, not really enough to work with. DAX and STX, we are closer to the possible support trend lines, and it would be nice to see those hit. That could give us some kind of a pattern, but that's not enough of an influence on the US indices to really read a huge amount in from it. Okay, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Yes, no current divergence. We could be setting some up, but without a pattern here, I'd be very, very wary about the possibility we'll just head higher. Not up at the daily middle band yet. Obviously, we're over the weekly pivot and the daily pivot. On the 5 minute, there's nothing to see. 15 minute, no current divergence. I did have a possible RSI 14 sell signal brewing, but obviously we made a higher high. So we lost that. On the hourly chart, we've done enough of a retracement. We could set up some hourly negative divergence here. We lost the divergence here on the RSI 5, but really there's not a lot to work with here. Looking at this chart, I'm really expecting to see a retest of the all-time high within a few days, and I'm not seeing much reason particularly to think it would stop that. NDX, not a lot to see on the 5 minute chart. The RSI 14 sell signal failed. On the 15 minute chart, nothing really to see on the hourly chart either. In terms of the daily chart, we're getting pretty close to the daily middle band, and this has been slower, obviously. This has really been led by Dow and SPX on the way up, so we're significantly further away from retest of the high. On IWM, nothing to see on the 5 minute chart. 15-minute RSI 14 sell signal is still fixed. Normally I expect that to reach target. I would note where we have reached here, which is interesting because we reached this declining resistance and we're actually holding it so far. So I'm watching to see if that's going to break. There isn't anything. It might be a sign that we could see a bigger retracement here. In terms of a larger reversal, I'm seeing nothing. I'm really not. We've got a weak RSI 5 sell signal fixed here. We could set up some decent hourly sell signals on RTH, but we're a high retest away from it at minimum. On the daily chart, by the time we get up to the daily upper band, we'll be at the all-time high. We shall see. Monthly pivot for today is support. Okay, looking at the others, IWM. 5-minute chart, nothing to see. 15-minute chart, nothing to see either. In terms of the pattern here, hang on one second. What are we on the 15-minute chart? Still, it's more or less the same rising wedge, really, although not quite as nice as the one on the RTY chart. Wondering about a test possibly of this rising support. Looking quickly at DAX. Looks on the way to retest the high, and Nikkei is a long way short of it. It's come a very long way, but it fell further to start off with. No targets to the downside. Quite a long way away from a retest of the high as well. Okay, let's have a look at DX. Right, DX, the buy signal actually failed. We went significantly lower. I've got a daily chart to show on that, which I'll show you quickly right now. And there, obviously we've broken below this this support trend line here. I think the obvious target is next a target at 132 and then 99.22, and I'm feeling pretty good about making those. We haven't got any divergence on the daily chart, and the RSI 5 buy signal fell. So I'm feeling pretty good about a retest of that. Of course, with this rally having almost exactly hit the 50% fib, there's a risk, obviously, and it would make a perfect double bottom if we hit that. So obviously there would be a risk of that happening. But if we were to see a sustained breakdown, we would have a target in the 94, 95 area. All right, let's have a look at ZB. ZB, this is what I was looking at. Now here you can see this, I think, is probably an ABC forming. So that would be A, B, C. And we've got a beautiful wedge for the B wave. Now it might break up anyway into a retest of this high. But this is the sort of setup you'll see when you're going to get a fail on the second wave and go down. And the same applies really in terms of double tops. This is what I would be hoping to see on a retest of the highs on equities. And we are a long, long way away from that. And if we were seeing that, I'd be leaning towards seeing a breakdown. But at the moment, we've got nothing like this. Here on ZB, this is leaning towards seeing a breakdown, possibly a test of the monthly pivot after that. CL, we've got 60-minute buy signal fixed. We've come down a long way, and I was talking about a possible breakdown from the larger triangle. Let's have a look and see what I was talking about there. That is this triangle here. And you can see we've come back pretty close to the support. Now, if you were to count this as A, B, C, D, and this would be the E wave would normally be a partial wave, which would then break down. We could be looking at that here, and if we see a sustained break below about the 71.85 area, I think, then at that stage we've got a breakdown from the triangle, and the target for that would be a test of 63.57, because that is where a bearish triangle would be looking for. So need to be watching that with interest, but be wary about seeing that breakdown. And if we see a breakdown below 71.67, this triangle is breaking down. So we will see. Looking at NG, we're at where we're forming a possible right shoulder on inverted head and shoulders. We've been watching this for a while. A sustained breakup over 242 would be looking for a target in about the 285, 290 area. We could well see that. I would note, though, just looking at the daily chart, that we do have an RSI 5 sell signal fix. It's not a particularly strong one, and it could fail. And bigger picture, if this triangle is forming, we've got a target up in about the 3 area. So I'm really liking the upside here. I'm just a little wary about all the resistance above. We've got the 200 DMA 2.33, 100 DMA 2.29, 50 DMA 2.37. We're hitting the ribbon of moving averages, which can act as quite an effective resistance. So this is a potential point of failure if we are going to fail, and you need to be aware of that. Looking at GC. GC, nice higher high here, 60-minute sell signal fixed, but nothing really saying this is about to reverse. Could see a bit of a consolidation or a pullback if we see a rally here on the dollar. SI, nice break up, asymmetric double bottom. I've got twin targets in about the 31.25 and 32 area. I'm liking the upside, not really seeing anything to see on the downside, and we've now had two failed 60-minute sell signals here. This is a strong trend. HG, we've got a possible chest neckline, which we are pretty close to reaching, and declining resistance not too far above that. I just wanted to mention the daily chart on that too. I'm not going to be using the daily charts an awful lot, but sometimes they back up the hourly charts quite well, and it's worth noting. We had buy signals here. The RSI 5 daily buy signal has made target. The weak RSI 14 buy signal has reached the 50 level. Potential resistance there. You can see, looking at the daily chart, that we've hit potential falling wedge resistance. This is an important level, and we could turn down from it. If we see a break up from it, it's very promising. Chances are we are bottoming out. We could form an IHS here, come back and retest the low, but chances are we'd be looking at further upside down the line. We will see. All right, let's have a look at the USD chart. Nothing really saying downside here, but we have got a 60-minute sell signal that's fixed and reconfirmed. I'm not sure that's strong enough in this move, but it's certainly suggesting some retracement. GBP USD, we've reached the first of the IHS targets. Why have I put in two targets? Right, okay. The reason I've got in two targets here is because there's only one target on an IHS, but when it goes beyond the previous high, then that is the first target. So we've reached the first target today, retested the prior high. The extended target is up in about the 1.307778 area, I think. And we've got a bit of it's not really negative divergence worth mentioning. We went below the 50 level. Could see a bit of a retrace here, could just head higher. USD JPY, possible head and shoulders formed and breaking down here. It's not a great pattern. I haven't drawn in the arrows, but if we go further down on the dollar, then we could certainly see a retest of this low. USD CAD, this one has been heading down pretty fast. I have found though this really nice looking falling wedge, nice looking small trend line. This is kind of peachy. I am wondering about seeing a large rally soon. And we've got a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing. KC, likely heading back up to the high, testing the annual pivot at the moment. NZUSD, sorry, Australian dollar rather. It's and we've got an IHS target which is up at a retest of the high. I'm thinking that's going to make target. We've got a bit of resistance here. 60-minute sell signal fixed. NZUSD also got a 60-minute sell signal fixed. No targets to the upside. We made the double bottom target. KC has gone back and retested the high at last. No strong idea of what's happening here, but we do have a 60-minute sell signal fixed. We could be looking at some more retracement. SB, nice looking double bottom. CC has broken up from the flag. If it's a triangle, could be forming a larger flag, but we're now getting kind of large to be a flag. It could be that this flag is breaking up towards a retest of this high. So I've got that in about the 9,000 area. Looking at CT, nice looking double bottom, might well deliver 60-minute sell signal fixed. ZW, nice looking double bottom. Corn, nice looking double bottom. Soy, nice looking double bottom, which is trying to break up with a target in about the 1,002 area. Lumber has broken down from rising support, could be topping out here, no current divergence. Live cattle has broken down and made the first of the double top targets. Marginally, but close enough. This could be a bottoming pattern forming. I'm disregarding further patterns to the downside at this stage. Lean hogs has broken up from a bull flag and should be heading back into the retest of this high in about the 78.75 area. All right, let's have a quick recap on ES and have a look at questions. Right, okay. ES, we've seen a little bit of a retracement here. It's not an awful lot, and it's not made most of the sell signal targets, but we have made the sell signal target on RT5, so we're down to 5 sell signals out of 6 now. I'm still thinking that we may see some more retracement. This has been a tremendously strong trend, though, so it wouldn't astound me if we were to continue up further and fail the current sell signals as well. We've already had 2 fail on ES and 2 fail on NQ. Bigger picture, any retracement is likely to buy. we're likely going higher afterwards, and we should see a retest of 57.22, and we're probably going to see retests of these highs across the board, certainly on Dow and Dow and SPX, and probably on NDX as well, maybe on the Russell. Not sure about that, but we will see. All right, so no more questions. I think that's a wrap. I'll have everything posted as soon as possible, and my pleasure as always, guys. Catch you later.